You ever smell something that takes you right back to the worst moment of your life? For me, it's the smell of wet ash and burned dreams. That was the smell of my father's antique store, Jenkins Jewels, after it burned to the ground. The fire marshal said it was an accident, but I knew it was arson. I knew it was him, Charles Whitlock, the billionaire who pretended to be my friend for a year. This is the story of how I lost my dad's legacy and how I used the ashes to build a prison for the man who took it from me. My name is Sarah Jenkins. My dad opened this store in 1885. It was his heart and soul. After he passed, it became mine. And then Charles started coming in. He was charming. The kind of charming that makes you forget to check your wallet. He wasn't like the other rich guys. He'd sit on this old stool right here, drink my terrible coffee, and ask about the story behind every single piece. Where'd this pocket watch come from, Sarah? Tell me about the family that owned this locket. He was studying me, learning what made me tick, what I loved, what I was afraid of losing. And I was lonely. Running a shop is isolating. I fell for it. I thought he was a friend. The offer started. Let me buy this place, Sarah. You deserve an easy life. When I said no, the charm started to crack. One day, he brought his lawyer, a slick guy in a suit that cost more than my car. He started talking about eminent domain and city development projects. They were trying to scare me. The last time he was here, he looked me dead in the eye and said, Sarah, be reasonable. You're going to sell to me, one way or another. The warmth was gone from his eyes. It was just ice. 2 weeks later, my store was gone. I was in the rubble, just numb. But then I found it. Tucked in a fireproof box under the floorboards where Dad kept his most important papers. It wasn't just his old ledgers. It was a rolled-up set of architect's plans. The Whitlock Grand Hotel. And right in the center of the lobby was the exact footprint of my store. That was the moment. The moment my heartbreak turned into something else. Something cold and sharp and patient. He thought he could erase me? No. I was going to paint a masterpiece, and it was going to be a forgery. I called it the O'Connell Hoard. I made up a story about a 19th century Irish immigrant family who struck gold in California and turned their fortune into priceless heirlooms lost when their ship sank off Maine. It was romantic. It was tragic. It was perfect. I used everything my dad taught me. I spent months in historical societies. I hired a genius art student, a kid who needed tuition money, to create one single breathtaking piece, a gold pocket watch with the O'Connell family crest. Not to sell, to be found. I planted the story online. I left fake diary entries in digital archives. I made the hoard a ghost that only Charles could see. I reopened in a tiny, sad-looking shop across town. I played the part of the broken woman, just trying to get by. When Charles came slithering back, oozing fake sympathy, I was ready. I let him see me hiding a photo of the pocket watch. I staged a whispered, frantic phone call about the O'Connell verification when I knew he was outside. Oh, you should have seen it. The hook was set. His eyes, they lit up with pure, unadulterated greed. Over the next 2 years, I reluctantly sold him pieces of the hoard. A lost gold locket, a certified silver set. Each one a brilliant fake. Each one costing him more than the last. He was so high on the idea of owning this legendary treasure, he never stopped to smell the BS. The finale was the auction for the hoard's crown jewel, the Emerald Isle diamond. He was obsessed. He liquidated assets, took out loans, and bet his entire company on winning that bid. $20 million. The gavel fell. It was his. The next day, the Wall Street Journal headline wasn't about his new diamond. It was about the forensic report he had commissioned. Whitlock Corp CEO swindled in $40 million antique scam. There was no diamond. There was no O'Connell hoard. There was just a mountain of debt and a billion-dollar company collapsing under the weight of a lie. His empire crumbled in a week. The hotel project vanished. I sat right here in my new, beautiful, successful store, the one I built with the money he paid me for my forgeries, and I watched him on the news being led into a courthouse. He looked empty. I didn't want his company. I didn't want his money. I used the money to buy the land my dad's store was on. I didn't build another store. I built a community garden, a place for kids to play and neighbors to talk. Something alive. Charles Whitlock thought he could take a woman's past and burn it. So I took his future and I sold it back to him piece by piece until there was nothing left. He learned the hard way. Never, ever underestimate a quiet woman with a long memory. If you believe that the best revenge is living well and maybe orchestrating a little poetic justice along the way, then smash that like button and subscribe. Because around here, karma doesn't just happen. Sometimes it needs a helping hand.